Next, we have Encompass by ICE Mortgage Technology, presented by Elizabeth. Encompass by ICE Mortgage Technology is a leading lending platform that streamlines the entire mortgage workflow, from customer acquisition to capital markets and beyond. The platform is designed to enhance our clients' operational efficiency, support compliance, and provide valuable insights, all from a single, fully configurable system tailored to your business needs. Elizabeth, take us through Encompass by ICE Mortgage Technology.
Awesome. So we are super excited to walk you through how the Encompass workflow engine is at the heart of automation in Encompass and can really help drive an exception-based workflow. And I am going to start with a slide or two to set the table for what you're going to see through the workflow engine example today. And what the workflow engine does is it listens for changes to the loan file. For example, a field change in Encompass. And if these defined field changes occur, it's going to evaluate whether any action needs to take place based on workflow rules configuration. The action could really be anything from a service order being placed to a condition or a task being added in. And then the result from that automation could drive additional workflow such as a task. And for the demo today, what we're going to be showing is a flood zone determination workflow engine example. And what really triggers this workflow to start is the send to processing milestone being completed. The workflow engine is going to be listening for field changes. So it is listening for that processing milestone to be completed. When the processing milestone is completed, that is going to trigger the flood cert to be ordered automatically. From there, the workflow engine will be listening for the document, the flood cert document, to be uploaded into the e-folder. Now, when that document is uploaded, does not matter if the property is in a flood zone or not, a task is going to be assigned to the processor to send the flood cert and the flood notice. Now, it's also listening for whether the property is in a flood zone or not. If it is, a condition is added automatically for flood insurance and a paid receipt necessary on that loan file. Finally, the workflow engine is listening for flood insurance and paid receipt documentation to be in the e-folder. Once that comes in, a task is added in to review that insurance. And from there, the workflow engine is listening. It's listening for that task review to be complete. And that is going to prompt the update of that condition to being cleared and ultimately that task to be fulfilled. Now, today in the workflow engine demonstration of this flood zone determination, we really want to show a subset of this. What we want to show are some of the key items. So that service order being placed automatically. We want to show a task being assigned automatically. And finally, we want to show a condition being added in automatically. So that's really what we're going to show in our demonstration today. So with that, I am going to pop over into Encompass. So right now, just to give you the lay of the land, I'm inside a loan file in Encompass. I'm in the services section. This is really where all things related to service are tracked and managed. And you can see, so if you remember, the trigger to start this flood zone determination workflow was that processing milestone being completed. And services can be ordered in different ways. And you can see that this service was ordered through automation. So upon that file processing milestone being completed, that service order took place automatically. And that service provider is going to send back not only the document, but also data elements into Encompass. And I can pop in and see, okay, what details have we gotten back from that flood cert? And we can see, all right, the property is in a flood zone. We can see some of the details. We can see the determination ID. And all of those data fields are writing back into Encompass. Now, if I wanted to, I could absolutely pop open that document. So I will have access on demand to that document at my fingertips where I can see the full color flood cert map. This document is going to be saved in the e-folder, and it's also going to be available at my fingertips through this flood section in the services tab. So to level set where we're at, file processing milestone complete, flood cert has been ordered automatically. It's come back. Regardless of whether the property is located in a flood zone or not, what has happened now is that I, as a processor, I have been assigned a task. That task has been assigned to me in an automated way so that right when I logged into Encompass, or if I was inside of this loan file, just looking at my tasks, I would see, hey, there is a task that I need to make my way through. I need to go in and review that flood cert. Now, with the task workspace, the beauty of the task workspace is it provides a streamlined checklist for me to walk through as a processor. I'm not having to go into the E folder and find the document I'm needing to look at. I'm not needing to find the form that these fields are on. It is walking me through that checklist that I need to walk through to get through this task that has been assigned to me. So I can go through, make sure the flood cert and the property address in the system is correct. So I can take a look, make sure everything looks okay. And I can really make my way through this checklist. And I'll pop into the last subtask here. This is dynamic. So as you configure these workspaces, you can determine what data, what documents are presented to your end users, like your processors, to get them the right data and documents in front of them at the right time. So again, step 2 was we've got that flood cert back. Let's automatically get that processor a task in front of them so that they can go in and review the flood cert. Now, finally, if you remember, we pulled up that flood cert and we saw that that property that we were taking a look at was, in fact, in a flood zone. So the workflow engine was listening to see, okay, is this property that we've just pulled a flood cert for in a flood zone or not? We've talked about how a service order could be placed automatically. We've talked about how a task can be assigned automatically. Now, as I'm accessing this loan file as an underwriter, I would see that, hey, there is a condition that has been added in that flood insurance is required. So the way that I go in and manage my conditions on an everyday basis, I would see this automated condition in there that flood insurance is required. That was all driven by the loan level details coming back from that flood cert being ordered and us knowing that that property is in fact in a flood hazard area. So from here, I can see and manage and track this condition just as I normally would any condition in Encompass as an underwriter. And I know we've talked about things like tasks being added in or conditions being added in, but in addition to the tasks and conditions being added automatically in this flood zone determination workflow, these can also be cleared as well, so that as that attachment comes in that the flood insurance has been provided, that can assign to this particular condition, and it can also clear that condition as well. Okay, so we walked through some of the steps in this flood zone determination workflow, and the main components that we looked at in the demo today was really how the Encompass workflow engine drives automation as well as an exception-based workflow. It leverages the hundreds of integrated service providers in Encompass with the goal of getting the right task in front of the right user and providing that streamlined checklist, omitting the need to hunt and peck for data documents, and getting the right items in front of them at the right time. In addition to adding and clearing conditions, you can also automate those adding, being cleared, as well as tasks. And then finally, the example that we looked at today was that flood zone determination. And that is really just one example how the workflow engine can drive automation and increase efficiency through an exception-based workflow. This is something that really, there are many different workflow options that can be set up and configured to create that exception-based workflow in your Encompass instance.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for taking us through Encompass by ICE Mortgage Technology. Are you ready to jump into some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
So first question is the workflow engine a free tool within Encompass, or do I have to pay extra for this?
So the great thing about the workflow engine, it is something that is included in your Encompass subscription, and it is right there in the admin tool. So your administrator can log in, access, and set up any workflow rules right in Encompass.
Love that. And let's dig a little bit more into that workflow engine specifically. You showed how it can be used to automate the process of ordering a flood determination, but can it be used to automate other workflows as well? What are some examples?
Absolutely. So whether you are wanting to order a flood cert automatically, whether you are wanting to build this in as a HELOC workflow and have an AVM ordered automatically and trigger a subsequent HELOC workflow, there are really many different examples that it can be utilized to streamline and take advantage of some of that automation.
I love a tool that's versatile. And can the workflow engine be used to clear conditions or tasks as well as add them?
Yes, it definitely can. So it can be used to add tasks, add conditions, clear tasks, clear conditions. If you can define the parameters, then you can set it up to do that.
How interesting. Elizabeth, thank you so much for taking us through Encompass by ICE Mortgage Technology.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.